Am I the asshole because I want my son and DIL to spend Christmas with me? It has been 2 years since I got to spend Christmas with both my sons, 32 and 34, since both lived in different countries. My younger son has always come home for Christmas. My other son lives overseas with his wife. They didn't fly home because it was too far. Before, they would switch off Christmas between my home and my DIL's mother. This fall my DIL lost her mom. She had come home last year to spend Christmas with her mother and had driven up to visit my younger son and me, but it was weird to see just her and not my son, and my younger son said that to me where she overheard it when she was leaving and was very upset, but he didn't mean it in a bad way, just that it was weird. This year, my older son and his wife have moved back 5 hours away. But they recently told me they don't want to drive down for Christmas Eve because it will be too hard for them and they intend to only come Christmas Day for dinner, stay 2 nights, then leave. When they told me this, I didn't know what to say and I told them I was disappointed and asked why they didn't want to be there Christmas Eve. They both came at me with anger and contempt about how they didn't want to be around a big group of people but it would only be me, my boyfriend, my younger son and his girlfriend. They met my boyfriend and my younger son's girlfriend this past summer when they moved back so they're not strangers. My son said they don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with performing and navigating the personal issues that come up in the group dynamic. They said they didn't want to have to pretend to be happy and feel bad about not feeling cheerful, and gave me an ultimatum about how if I didn't understand then they wouldn't come and just my son would come up alone for a visit after Christmas but he wasn't leaving his wife alone on Christmas Eve and day. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to be around family and friends and why they feel like my home is not a safe place for them. I set up a room for them and even told them they can eat breakfast and dinner alone in their room if that's what they need. My DIL said she didn't want to feel like she had to hide away to feel safe and that she knew she would need to cry at times like on Christmas morning and she didn't want to cry in front of people or feel like she was bringing down other people's happiness. I told her we all understand so it's fine. I couldn't handle having this conversation over email and they could have called me to talk to me about this so I bowed out. My DIL said she understood and that there were pros and cons to both phone calls and written messages but that it was important that we all talk about our feelings. But when I spoke from the heart I got ultimatums and how is me being upset and disappointed about them choosing not to spend Christmas with me so hard to understand? Am I the asshole? You are the asshole. Despite telling them otherwise, you clearly don't understand. They want to privately grieve in their own home on Christmas morning because it will be a difficult time. That's it. Fresh grief during the holiday season is a whole other beast. Stop pushing them to do things your way. It's selfish beyond belief. Learn boundaries before your son ends up deciding they won't spend any part of the holiday with you. You are the asshole. This is clearly a case of missing reasons. They have told you why they'd rather not come. You're just not accepting their choices. That's on you. You can either enjoy their company for Christmas dinner plus another 2 nights, or you can safely assume they won't come at all. You're being incredibly demanding, controlling, and manipulative. Accept their choices with grace, or risk not seeing them at all next year. Am I the asshole for tell my wife the cat is still her responsibility even if she is pregnant? My wife, 28, and I, 36, are expecting our first baby. 3 years ago my wife decided she desperately wanted a cat. I hate cats and all animals in the house really so I was against it. She wouldn't stop talking about so finally we made a deal she could get a cat but it was her responsibility I would have nothing to do with it she agreed. She stuck to her word and I stuck to mine I mostly ignore the cat. Now she is pregnant and asked me if I can scoop the litter until she give birth because of toxoplasmosis but I looked it up and as long as she wears gloves and washes her hands she should be good. So I told her absolutely not. She wasn't happy but I reminded her of our agreement when we got the cat. I told her it was her responsibility and if she didn't want to take care of it anymore with the new baby coming we can get rid of it and find it a new home. She said no and has been scooping the litter. Her sister was over and saw her doing this and flipped out at me telling how dangerous it is. But of course her sister is going to be on her side and overreact. I never wanted the cat so I don't see how I'm wrong. Get a self-cleaning litter box. Then all you have to do is toss. No scooping. She really shouldn't be around cat feces while pregnant. Even at the vet clinic where it's literally your job to clean this stuff, we do not allow our pregnant employees to clean the cat boxes. You are the asshole. A man that puts a deal over his unborn child's health is an embarrassment. Not to mention a bad father already. It takes a couple minutes a day. Get off your ass and help out. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for not letting my husband have any of my banana bread anymore? Whenever I, 29F, have bananas that are close to going bad, I like to make them into banana bread. I make really, really good banana bread. However, my husband, 31M, has this complex about eating baked goods with edges. He always has to eat the middle brownie, or slice of cake, etc. So, when the banana bread is cool enough to cut into, my husband goes in and cuts out the middle 1–2 inches to eat. He won't touch any other part of the bread. I don't mind eating the ends, but I never get to eat the middle, which is in my opinion the tastiest part, and worse, it causes the rest of the bread to dry out within a day, which I have to eat alone because my husband won't touch the remains of his pillage. Keep in mind, I'm the one doing all the work to make this bread, as well as all the cleanup. I've asked my husband not to do this, but he doesn't seem to care. So, I just made a banana bread, and when he asked me if it was done, I informed him he isn't allowed to have any if he can't start cutting from the end like a civilized person. I've been living with his banana bread shenanigans for years, and I've had enough. My husband says I'm being ridiculous. Am I the asshole? Edit. My husband has seen this post and we had a good laugh about how almost everyone took my side, much to his surprise. No guarantee he'll be changing his ways in the immediate future, but I've been given a lot of good tips on how to get revenge, so we'll see down the line. Not the asshole at all lol. Get revenge. Make batter into muffins and eat all the tops smirk. Not the asshole. Your husband is for always stealing the best part for himself. Suggestion: make banana bread but in a bundt cake mold. All edge pieces, no end pieces. Is your husband serious? I can't help but laugh here because I'd probably start swinging if someone cut the middle part of my cake, loaf, treat out. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If he wants to only eat middles of breads he can bake his own and compost the ends or donate them to someone with backyard chickens or pigs. Get one of those brownie, all-edge pieces, pans and make a batch that's all ends. Reduce the bake time so that it's still tasty. Come Mr. Tallyman. Tally me asshole votes. Daylight come in. You are not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay my friend's daughter more? My friend's Michelle's daughter, Danielle, 17F, has a little home business where she bakes cakes and cookies. Danielle is a talented baker. I ordered a birthday cake for Danielle for my son. We agreed on a price, I paid what she charges anyone else. Well, I guess Danielle dropped the cake and had to remake it when she was boxing it up, and ended up having to buy new ingredients to do so. My friend tells me I actually owe Danielle $25 more than the agreed upon amount. I ask why, and she tells me about Danielle dropping the cake and having to buy new ingredients and spend more time. I tell her I understand that accidents happen and do feel bad for Danielle, but it is not my fault that Danielle dropped the cake and I shouldn't have to pay for the extra ingredients or time, just as I wouldn't have to for any other bakery. I'd pay what we had originally agreed upon and that was it. I already had to pick up the cake a day later and rush to get it to my son's party because it had to be remade, which I was very nice and understanding about, because accidents happen. My friend is calling me an asshole because at the end of the day, Danielle is still a teenager and lost money and time as a result. I told my friend the real world isn't perfect and things happen, and that if she felt strongly about it she should pay her daughter for the extra ingredients and I'd pay for the cake as planned. My friend still thinks I'm too harsh. Not the asshole. Friend's daughter should consider this a lesson in business. They absolutely should not pass that extra cost for their mistake down to the end consumer customer. Not the asshole. If she was an adult and owned a bakery, she would have to pay for her mistake. It's a lesson learned. Not the asshole. This is how business works. It would be different if you'd been given a discount, but if you paid her normal price then too bad.